So this morning, I am going to get my coffee, and you know, I get in my car, I go to Dunkin' and get in the drive-through and just get my typical coffee order, right? Like any other day, nothing unusual. And as I'm pulling out of the drive-through after I got my coffee to get on the main road, I see a blacked out Lamborghini Huracan, right? Now, mind you, the the place that I live in is a very non-affluent area. Okay, so it's extremely unusual to see something like that in the area that I live in. So I'm looking at this Lamborghini and it looks beautiful, right? Blacked out Huracan, low to the ground, just the idling engine noise, it sounds beautiful. And I'm just staring at it, and I'm trying to look to see who's inside this car. And I squint my eyes a little bit, and I look, and I see that it's a young guy. It's a young guy, and he looks like he had just woken up. He's looking a little rough, right? And I'm looking at him and I'm like what? Like it didn't make sense. The first thing that came to mind is just anger, right? I was just angry. That was the first thing that I felt. I was just like, really? Like, this guy, right? And then I was like, okay, don't judge a book by its cover, right? But then the second thing that started happening is just the awareness of the gap between him and I, right? I started to become aware of his position compared to mine. And that's all I could think about is just the gap between him and I, like, not just in wealth, right? Not just in vehicles, but in what actions he took in life that I did not take. All I can think about is, what is he doing that I have not done or I'm not doing right now? And I just started thinking about my own inadequacies. Right. Now, I know it's they say don't associate your self-worth with materialistic possessions. And I'm fully for that, right? I fully agree. I think that your value as a human is intrinsic rather than extrinsic, right? So what that means is that you as a human, without any materialistic possessions, without anything, just you as a soul, are inherently invaluable. You are an anomaly, and the fact that you are alive is quite literally, you won the lottery, right? The fact that you are alive, you're well, you're breathing, you have vision, you have hearing, you're able to speak, all of your limbs are in place. Like that is all a blessing. It is all a blessing. But what I realized later is that it's not that I really want a Lamborghini per se, right? Like, it's not that I really want a supercar. although would be nice, that's not the reason why I was invigorated, right? I think the correct framing of what I really want is the option to be able to purchase one if I choose to, right? So that's what I measure success upon. It's not actually owning your supercar or a beautiful house or whatnot. It's more so having the capability and the option to make a big purchase and still be successful, still be wealthy, still be monetarily secure, right? Because it's not a small purchase, right? It's $250,000, $500,000 car, $250,000 to $500,000, and plus if you're going with upgrades. You got to think about the maintenance too. So it's not that you just buy the car and like the car itself does not make you successful, is what I'm saying. But having the option to make that purchase does, because it indicates that you are smart with your money. All right, I'm gonna share with you a lesson that I've extracted from all of this, and the realization of it is further invigorating me. But I do feel like I need to share this in case anybody is going through the same situation. Ever since a very young age, I want to say like 16 to 21, 22, possibly 23. That was the most ambitious I have ever been in my entire life. Is from age 16 up until around 23 years old. And as of recently, I have sort of lost that fire. Okay? And thinking back on the reason why that feeling just kind of vanished for me, a few things come to mind. One in particular is I remember vividly the feeling that I would get when I would share this crazy fire, this will, this drive, this force that I want to impose on the world. I remember sharing that side of me with people, and I remember their reaction. I remember their response. I remember the way it made them feel. And without fail, to every memory I have, I can picture vividly their face and how uncomfortable they were with me sharing that. And I remember hearing things like, well, you have to be realistic. Well, money isn't everything. Like these are the things that I would hear back when I would share this vision that I have. We live in a capitalistic society, and everybody is benefiting off of each other, and money is the root of all evil, and everything's corrupted. So do you really want to do that? Do you really want to be that ambitious? Why are you aiming so high? Just you're okay right here. You're okay right here. And in the beginning when I was young, I didn't let that affect me. I was just like, yeah, whatever, bro. I'm gonna keep doing me, right? But the more that I heard this, the more that I shared this vision, and the more that I kept on seeing the same reactions of people being uncomfortable when I would share something like this, it sunk into something deep inside of me that told me that being ambitious is wrong. It makes other people uncomfortable, right? It makes other people weary. So don't be ambitious, because if you are ambitious, then you're gonna make others uncomfortable, right? So I gave up my drive and my will and my ambition to essentially please other people, to make sure that other people feel comfortable in my presence. And I don't think they were intentionally trying to put me down. I think what they felt is maybe somewhat sort of similar to what I felt this morning, which is the gap between them and me. I'm sure that when I would display this vision and this energy, I'm sure what they thought about is maybe not consciously, but I'm sure maybe what they felt is, I don't feel that way. Why do you feel that way? This is what I feel, and this is what I think is right. So I don't think it was like, although some people sure will try to bring you down purposely, I don't think most people do it intentionally. I think it's mostly a reaction, a fear-based reaction. If I'm being honest. So the lesson extracted here is, don't fall victim to that. Don't fall victim to that. If you have some sort of vision or drive or force or something that you want to achieve passionately, I'd be very careful about who you share that with, because if you tell enough people and you get the same reactions every time, your brain subconsciously is going to start associating that your vision, your dreams, your goals are somehow wrong. When there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be the best version of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But your brain correlates it in a way that is like, okay, whenever I share this, I can see the pattern. People get uncomfortable. People start, shifting in their seats. People don't like it when I talk about this kind of stuff. And then you learn to stop. You learn to stop. So I'd like to say that, having the realization that I'm having now is solving maybe half of the problem, because at least now I'm aware. Right. But there is still a lot more left to discover. You don't know what you don't know. So, with that being said, thanks for listening.